What is up, you guys? Welcome to the Real Radar Radio Show. I am your host, Eric V. Thanks for joining me on a new episode of this show. I am totally in the zone right now with the show because I have many different things going on, especially with this episode, and I wanted to get jump started on this thing because there's so much to talk about, so much to cover, so much to just, lay out, especially for this show. And I did my research today, and I did, all my looking into these articles, and I was looking at quite a few things. And one of the biggest things that catches my attention is usually what's going on right now. What's going on with stories, what's going on with people, what's going on with everybody, what's going on in the realm of, what people think, what people, see on a daily basis. What big news, what big chances that people take each day is reading articles and watching videos. Lately, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on abandoned places, abandoned, stories, abandoned, amusement parks, abandoned, places, prisons, schools, theaters, stuff like that. And if you really watch these videos, it really captures your attention. But one of the key things that I wanted to point out about watching these videos, or any video on YouTube, was the ads. Now, a lot of people will agree with me and say, you know what, these ads are horrible. These ads are absolutely just the worst. You don't want to sit there and be around, ads while you're watching them. And, it sucks because what are you going to do? I mean, you have to sit through them. Some you can skip, some you have to sit through. YouTube is possibly the biggest platform for anybody and anybody to put out their material, put out whatever that they're trying to reach to their viewers, to their general audience. And there's plenty of people out there who are capable and willing and knowing, very well what kind of content that they're looking for, what kind of stuff that they are promoting, stuff that they're looking at. Just earlier this week, there's been a lot of speculation and a lot of going around about, a few ads on YouTube that YouTube has subsequently taken down due to some graphic imagery, some horrifying jump scares, if you will. And it all ties into the new movie, The Nun. And if you guys listen to my past 2-3 episodes where I've talked about The Nun, where I've talked about this certain type of horror film that's coming out, people are very amped about it. They're really excited because, they want to watch a movie about this shit. Look, everybody's excited. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions and stuff. But when it comes to the same people who are looking forward to this movie, who are looking forward to everything, of course, with every movie comes viral marketing. Very clever, very immersive viral marketing. Just with like the Cloverfield movies, that was very viral marketing with the websites and secret tapes and connections and plot holes and twists and turns and, a lot of stuff that catches you off guard that you don't see until after you watch it for the second time around. Viral marketing has been a part of movie making and teasers and trailers for the longest time since the turn of the generation. Since, movies have gotten smart. We did away with 3D movies. We upped the ante. We started releasing things on IMAX and 4K. And things have just been looking up ever since. But think about it this way. The same people that love these movies, who, get off on jump scares, who love to watch these movies, Annabelle, The Conjuring, Insidious, The Nun, all this other, all these other movies that people love to watch, are the same people that are complaining to YouTube about this ad that promotes the Nun. Now think about it. Why, of all things, would you complain about a jump scare ad that for a movie that you're looking forward to, and you go ahead and report it to YouTube for interfering with the user-friendly, approach to watching videos? I mean, I get it. You don't want these videos popping up to your kids. You don't want these videos, playing an ad before, your kids watch an episode of PJ Masks or SpongeBob or, whatever, you can access on YouTube for the kids, especially the kids. It's horrible because although smart marketing ploy done by the studio, done by, the producers, and done by executives who are behind the film, it is with utmost, certainty and secrecy that this, these ads are played tastefully and targeted toward those who are responsible enough to use social media in a ways where they won't be offended, where they won't be scared, where they won't be, they feel targeted, put in a corner. And especially when you have kids who access YouTube, kids as young as 5, 6, 7, or 8, they're liable to run into ads and run into, advertisements and things for other things before watching their videos. And can you honestly imagine how something like that could happen to a child? I mean, I don't know if this is true or not, but a child from Arizona was accessing a video online via YouTube, and the ad played for The Nun, the 6-second teaser jump scare, in front of the kid, and the kid was just, blown away, frightened, and it's caused a lot of backlash, a lot of outcry towards the studio, towards YouTube, and YouTube was forced to remove it. The video, the jump scare video, can still be found on YouTube for those who want to go view it. I mean, obviously a lot of people have seen it by now. It's been on Twitter, it's been on Instagram, it's been all over the place, but YouTube has actually removed it from playing as an ad before videos while people wait for their videos to start. You don't have it. The video starts off as the volume button or the volume icon informing you that the volume is being turned down, but it really isn't. I mean, unless you're manually doing it on your phone, and the clip is 6 seconds long. You have at least a second or half a second before the video kicks in. All this imagery kicks in. The nun shoots out at the screen. There's a piercing cry, scream coming from the video, and all these sounds and stuff. It's horrible. I saw it. I was freaked out because the whole way it was played out. I mean, you think that you get at least 2 seconds. No, you got half a second to act upon it. So that once the video loads, hit the volume low, look away or something, because it causes a lot of problem for those who have anxiety. I guess for people who have jump scares, who hate jump scares, who hate being scared in general. It's targeted towards more of those people who find it hard to cope with something like that. Can you imagine? This is just the ad. Can you imagine just the movie when it comes out? I mean, a lot of people are gearing up and looking forward to this movie because people want to be scared, and I get it. Some people are having high praise and high expectations for this film, as you should. I mean, people want to be scared. People want to have a good time at the theater. People haven't had that in a long time, what it's like to be scared, to have films up in your face, to really push the envelope of people and the terror and the fear, and it sucks because some people, and the same people who love these jump scares, are the ones that are offended, or the ones that are not wanting to deal with this type of marketing that's part of everyday life. We always get teaser trailers, we always get trailers for other movies before our actual videos on YouTube. It's become a routine, a daily routine for lots of people. People usually skip the ads. Some people can't skip the ads. That's how people and these creators and these YouTubers make their revenue, over ads being played before their videos. And it's smart marketing. That's just how YouTube and these marketing techniques work out. It seems to be paying off. If it's causing a big backlash and a huge upset over just one fucking movie. But kudos to the studio, kudos to YouTube for their approach to promote the film, and their approach to get the film more out there, more known to people who are expecting to see a new teaser or something brief of the movie, but you're met with something that's horrifying, that catches you off guard, because as it does every day, everybody's entitled to a good scare. But I mean, think about it. Do you really want these videos affecting the children? I mean, it's just the number one ploy. I mean, yeah, a lot of people will disagree. Some people will be like, okay, well, I really don't trust my kid or let my kid, be on YouTube or something like that because, of, shit happening to all these other children. You see these videos that are tampered with, these apps that these kids access that are either tainted with or have demonic sounds or, weird imagery or, stuff like that that's targeted toward these children. Then you get the YouTube for kids, where it's just mainly everything that's out for kids, alphabet, learning, numbers, 1 2 3, colors, shapes, you name it. The normal kids unboxing toys or kids unboxing products with their parents, stuff like that. That's wonderful, that's great. Kids love that type of thing. But can you imagine if a kid actually accessed regular YouTube, not for kids, but was met with a clip from the Nun and scared shitless? That's just gonna start a whole riot with people and how sensitive people are with ads and with horror movies, and it's just gonna put everything on the backlash. So I for one think that it's smart, but I think it's also smart for what YouTube has done to remove the ad, to remove it from all videos that it's been attached to. There is a way that you can block all horror imagery or all horror movies or all horror related scary things through Google's tool on YouTube. You can access that feature. I do not know exactly how, but there is a setting within the settings on YouTube and Google where you can make the change, and you can have a checklist or checkbox of which ads that you don't mind seeing, ads that you don't want to see, stuff like that. It's safe. It's a safer alternative for everybody involved. I mean, obviously, anybody, obviously going to have ads in their videos. There's no way around it. Facebook has started cranking out ads on their videos now, which I don't think is any bit, fair, because Facebook is just trying to cash in on the fact that, these creators can make revenue on their videos and stuff. And I get it, that's how people make their living. So this is the 21st century. People are lazy, don't want to get jobs. They rather have a YouTube show, and sometimes it works out. I mean, obviously it works out for a lot of people out there. But I think it's just another way to annoy viewers, to have people unwillingly have to watch a video on Facebook. When you're watching a video on Facebook and an ad just starts in the middle of the video that you're watching, and you're forced to either watch the ad or skip the ad, but either way you're still gonna have to wait at least 7 seconds before your video remains if you skip the ad on Facebook. So either way, these creators and these advertisers still make their money, get their word out across, and make everything hunky-dory so the creators can still make their revenue. So either way, either if you skip the ad or you don't, people are still going to make their money. But yeah, I mean, that was just, basically my whole spiel on this whole Facebook thing. And obviously, everybody loves YouTube, everybody loves Facebook, everybody loves videos. If you're met with this ad, if you're met with this viral ad, you can view it on YouTube. It's in its entirety, especially made for as a video, not as an ad anymore. So don't worry, any videos you watch on YouTube anymore won't have any viral marketing for the Nun, other than the other trailers that have been made already. So have fun, enjoy it, beware, take care, stuff like that. Moving along past this nonsense, because I'm over it. A lot of people are kind of on the ups and downs about this Child's Play remake that's coming out. That's due in theaters in 2019, I believe. It's being directed and written by people that are not even a part of the original. Don Mancini's not involved in it whatsoever. Brad Dourif's not involved in it whatsoever. The original players for the Child's Play films are no longer or nowhere attached to this remake film that's being done. That's actually started production as of today, as of this week. Has already started production. The director for the Child's Play reboot has actually posted a picture on Instagram of the script and Chucky's knife on top of the script, with the caption saying "Day 1, let's play." And just it started. The reboot process is in control. Things are happening. Films are being rebooted once again. I cannot believe that this is another classic film from the original 1988 Child's Play is being rebooted, and it's being out there for today's demographic. I get it. Things got to change. People are invested in this franchise. People want to be scared. This is going to be another installment in the horror franchise, set apart from Mancini's franchise as a whole. And speaking of which, Don Mancini is actually not a part of the film, neither is Brad Dourif, as I just said, because they're actually attached to a TV series that Brad Dourif and Don Mancini are putting together of the iconic Chucky. So fans of the original, franchise in the series can look forward to the TV show coming out pretty soon. I do not know the details or the specifics about that. Just said, I think I know it's a 10-episode run for the first season. I don't know if there's going to be, broken up by seasons, how long this project's going to be going, or what we can expect. But rest assured, Brad Dourif's involved. He will again voice Chucky for the TV series. Nothing has been said about who's going to be playing Chucky in the film reboot. All I do know is that it is high-tech technology being implemented in this Chucky film with this reboot, so we can expect at the very least some CGI shit to happen or go down with this Child's Play reboot. I'm not too keen on it. It could be a good thing. I as with everything, I have, my distaste with reboots and remakes, but this could just be another fork in the road. Maybe this Child's Play remake will avoid all the disasters that has happened in previous films, like Poltergeist and The Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th and Amityville Horror. Maybe it will avoid all this, spiel of how things were approached and how things, were made or remade, if you will, for this project. So I honestly, truly am looking forward to seeing how, I'm interested to seeing how this reboot's going to be approached and how it's going to be, brought forward to everybody down the line, whether the people that are involved are, going to, people who are not involved in the film, they're going to, make some homage or some sort of tribute to the actual trilogy or the actual series in the franchise, or there's going to be some sort of, shout out or reference to the original from the 88 original. I don't know. But nonetheless, that's what's happening with the Child's Play film. Like I said, I've announced on Instagram that I had an announcement that I wanted to share with a lot of people. If you're here from Instagram and you're here about this announcement that I was going to make on this episode, you're in luck, because I am making my announcement right now. I feel like it's going to be a great announcement. I felt very good about this. I've actually talked to my brother about the specifics about what I was going to announce and what I was going to talk about. And although this is an announcement, this is a way of saying, I am going to be implementing a new segment in the show starting very soon. I will be starting a new segment in regards to adding onto the show, and I think that rather than doing a show on one show on a weekly basis, I think, and I hope that this is going to catch on, and I hope it sticks. I'll probably be implementing a 2-episode per week thing in the near future, which is going to take its own course of action throughout time. I hope it actually works out, because aside from doing the show, I love talking about movies. I love talking about video games, TV shows, music, comics, horror, and everything in between. I wouldn't want it to interfere with the show, or I wouldn't want it to be a part of, kind of mingle and mix in with the show. I'm still debating whether it's going to be one show. I'm kind of leaning towards two different shows, two completely, totally different shows, where I'm going to be doing what I do now, talking about the podcast, talking about movies, entertainment, trailers, movie news, horror movies, my opinions, my personal, output, my rants and raves and about certain things and things that I'm talking about. Or it could be something else where I'm talking about other things where, that I do daily, things that I do on the upside, things that I talk about that aren't part of the yeah, all right, sorry about that. I had a brief moment where kind of had to grab doing my thoughts about that, but yeah, this show might be a 1-parter, 2-parter. I really hope it kind of works out in the near future. I'm not giving details about what the segment's going to be about. You guys are going to have to figure that out or find out when it happens. When it's going to happen in the very near future, I'm very excited about it. All I can tell you right now is that it's going to be different, but it's going to be fun, and it's going to be pretty interesting how it's all going to play out. I'm going to make it seem like it's actually bigger than what it is. I'm actually hoping that it's going to be better than what I'm actually thinking about in my mind. I've actually been thinking about it for quite some time. So with everything that's going on, aside from this show, aside from this particular podcast, I think that this new venture, this new segment that I'm adding onto the show, I really hope it takes off. And I think it'll find an audience with a lot of people who love horror movies, who love things that are horror and sci-fi and mysterious and creepy and everything that I've wanted to delve into just in one show. If I wanted to make this podcast that I do every week, just horror and just, creep and fear and horror and everything, I wouldn't really have a lot to go with, because I really want to expand on that eventually. And as I do already, give tidbits and talk about, horror films, and I rant about them and I rave about them, and I pretty much, give the details and stuff about it. There's just so much that I would love to talk about down the stretch in the horror world. The horror genre has been my favorite since I was a kid. It always has been, and it always will be. The podcast will remain the podcast. I will still continue to talk about movies and trailers, and everything else that I discuss in this show is remaining untouched. It's going to stay that way. That's how it's going to be. This new segment, I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are excited, just as excited as I am. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun, and I'll be hosting a, I guess you could say, suggestion session in the near future, how you guys can help me get this started in the very, very near future. I really like for people to give me their personal experiences based on what I am looking for, and I will make that announcement very soon, very shortly, maybe within the end of the week, or maybe the early next week or so. But it's going to be fun. I like to involve the audience, get everybody talking about it and see where I can go, see if I can get people involved and, with people's permission, be able to implement that in the show and showcase it for everybody so they can listen to people's experiences and stories and how things are going to be happening. So, in other words, if you guys have not put that together, that's pretty much what the segment's going to be about, this add-on. So, I would really hope that this is going to work out for the best. I'm looking forward to this exciting new venture. I can't thank my brother enough, who has been very supportive. I was very reluctant about telling him, and he can vouch for this. I was very reluctant about telling him because I was very nervous about him making fun of me in the aspect of thinking that this is going to be a bad idea. But he's been very supportive. He's one of my best friends. He's the greatest, and I can't thank him enough for continue to being supportive of the show and supportive of what I love and everything that has been up to this point for the podcast. So thank you, Dave. If you're listening, thank you so much. Love you, man. So moving on, man. Moving on to this podcast, not talking about the segments, not talking about The Nun, not talking about Child's Play. Avengers Infinity War has hit 4K DVD and Blu-ray release today, or today's Wednesday, so yesterday, the 14th. A lot of DVD extras and a lot of 4K gag reel, blooper reel, deleted scenes. I think it's got I want to say 15 or 20 more minutes of footage, deleted scenes, some CGI work that hasn't been done, the featurette that has been included, the making of, the location scouting, the VFX work, everything else that went into making this Avengers Infinity War the biggest it's been. Not a lot of, talk about what Avengers 4 could lead up to, but it remains a mystery, man. I don't know what else to add to that. The Steelbook edition is available at Best Buy and at Target. You can grab your copy today or tomorrow, whenever. It'll be very exciting to see how things will be unraveled and how things are going to pertain to Avengers 4. There's been a lot of speculation, a lot of talk about what the title for Avengers 4 is going to be. I will be posting a poll on Instagram about what you guys think it could be. Could it be Endgame? Could it be Fallen Heroes or Fallen Kingdom? Not Fallen Kingdom, I'm sorry. I was thinking Jurassic Park. Fallen Heroes, Endgame. It could be anything at this point, but I'm leaning more towards Endgame. I feel like it's going to be Avengers Endgame or something, or an Endgame War, End War, or something. I don't know. It's going to be something big, probably something that's going to be too obvious if we were to decipher it and figure it out today. I think it would be very modest and it might be too cliche, might give it away too quick or something, I don't know. Or Avengers Fallen Game or Fallen and Fallen, or I don't know, something along the lines around there. But other than that, we got a lot of things coming up. Summer has already ended. The kids are back in school. We have so many things to look forward to. The fall TV show, the list is coming out. We have a lot of things coming out in the fall. The return of a lot of things in the fall. A lot of debuts. American Horror Story is cranking on. American Horror Story Apocalypse. Mayans MC is coming to FX. A new season of Family Guy. A new season of American Dad. The Simpsons going on their 28th season or 30th season. It's going to be huge. It's going to be epic. Speaking of Fox, speaking of Family Guy and The Simpsons, Disney has actually approved and got the bid for Fox to, all the acquisitions and everything that Fox has. Fantastic Four, The Kingsman, Simpsons, Family Guy, American Dad. Everything that FX has up to this point will belong to Disney when that transition happens in the very near future. Although, speaking of Family Guy and The Simpsons, Fox actually has plans to move forward with another Simpsons movie, and Family Guy is finally going to get their live action big screen debut / live action approach. So they're going to get their own movie too. And it said that Disney is going to allow Fox to finish their projects that they have in production as of now. So when Disney makes a final buyout to Fox, everything that Fox is being made will be owned by Disney. Double the revenue, double the support, double the audience. You're gonna have both Fox and Disney audiences clamoring to the box office to see these films. So, I mean, there's something to go off of. I mean, you're always gonna get something fresh with Disney. Disney has gone on to say that they're not going to target anything outside the ordinary in regards to shying away from The Simpsons and shying away from Family Guy, or how this is going to affect the upcoming Kingsman 3, which is going to be filming starting January 2019. They're going to be filming Kingsman 3 and the Kingsman sequel in a back-to-back fashion, a la Avengers 3 and 4. So that's interesting to see. I mean, we're going to have the Eggsy trilogy, a film that's going to close out the Eggsy trilogy, that's going to close out that trilogy, but also going to add a prequel to how things were started with the Kingsmen back when World War I happened, how that's going to be happening. We're going to have some sort of historical figure, Kingsmen, play into the mix. So there's that. That's going to be pretty interesting to see. Disney will own the Kingsman franchise, and the all properties and everything that Fox owns will be it's interesting to see. So that's kind of weird, has a weird taste in it if you really think about it. Disney's gonna own American Horror Story, but I guess you could say that once Fox, since this is gonna be American Horror Story's like final season, I guess you could say that Disney's probably gonna shoo away with the fact that American Horror Story was like its own thing, and not make it seem like it's like part of the Disney realm, because people at Disney don't cuss or anything like that. It's really not going to be affecting the Deadpool franchise, which, by the way, I don't know how that's going to play out. I mean, and if so, when does the recasting start for the X-Men, and how soon can we get the X-Men involved in the MCU, and how fast can we get the Fantastic Four back into the MCU, and how that's all going to play out. But Kevin Feige, president of Marvel Studios, has said that there's no immediate plans for any involvement of the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, and the MCU just yet, as they are still finalizing the deal with Fox. But I believe they still have some sort of way to make it seem that they're a part of this universe, they're a part of the MCU in some way, shape, or form. And I think that they're going to implement that maybe in Avengers 4. For all we know, there could be doing reshoots and add-ons to Avengers 4 and adding, characters into the fray. For all we know, things could happen. Things could change at the last minute. For all we know, we might see the Disney / MCU debut of the X-Men into the MCU, and how that's going to be played out, and who's going to play who, and what approach they're going to take. And it's going to be interesting to see. I've seen a lot of fan casting for Wolverine. I think there was one, and this is a weird pick for Wolverine, but a lot of people were clamoring for Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine. And yeah, you're probably thinking, did he say Daniel fucking Radcliffe like Harry Potter? Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe. Reason being is that he does take on the role of like an eager, angry person with a lot of like issues very well. And not only that, but he has the same comic book height that Wolverine had in the comics. So that could play off as well too. So I don't know if that would be something that could happen. Would he put on the muscle for the role, or how that would be approached? Maybe that could probably work. I think so. But in the meantime, not a lot has been said about the Fox-Disney merger, as we don't know what we can expect from anything. But for what it's worth, I'm looking forward to seeing this in the future. I don't know what direction Disney's going to take with the MCU, what that means for Robert Downey Jr., what that means for Steve, what that means for Chris Evans, what that means for all these other, main heavy hitters for the MCU. It's going to be difficult to see. But, like I said, Avengers 4 is going to be the pinnacle, the ending of the 22 film arc, the end of Phase 3 or the start of Phase 4, something along the lines of there being more and more and more of the MCU in the near future. So, get excited, Marvel fans and DC fans, because you guys don't have a really good shared universe. DCU. That's funny. That's not to be shitting on the DCU. I believe you guys, stand by your films. You guys probably think that the DCU is a good universe. It's got its moments. It's got its moments. You can't really fight it. You can't really disagree with it, because it's not gonna hurt you in the worst way or so. But then again, the DCU is not really properly set up for an actual universe. It's just all these films happen sporadically over a different type of approach, and I get it. The DCU will form. It's gonna take some time, but I think that the DCU will have its way of building from the ground up, and doing their part and making it seem like it's going to build up on its own, and it will. It just takes time. Marvel didn't really have it all figured out from the very get-go. Had long pause because they did, but I'm pretty sure they will, though. It'll be good for DCU fans in the near future. And speaking of the DC universe, I want to point out that the CW has casted, or I believe it's for the CW, that they have casted for the role of Batwoman, being played by Ruby Rose, and a lot of people are excited, happy for the casting choice. I think it's a good fit. I think she will do the character very well. I believe that she's been looking forward to, getting her hands into, the superhero world, getting things going with how things are going to play with Batwoman. What does this mean for a future of the DCU? Are we going to get any sort of involvement of this into the future of Birds of Prey, the film adaptation? Are we going to see anything involved with the lines of, future DC films? Is she going to be strictly for, the CW's purpose for TV shows? I believe that she's going to make her debut in December as Batwoman on the CW. I keep butchering the name of I don't know, something of the Legends of the Tomorrow or something. I don't know. I'm not a DCU TV CW fan. I don't follow that shit pretty close, but she's making her debut in December, so that's going to be interesting to see. Like I said, August has come. We are trekking along. Summer's going to be over. Super glad, because this Texas heat ain't no joke. It fucks with your mind. Fucking with my mind right now. I can't take this shit right now because it's just too hot. But the upside is that we're expected to have a colder winter, bring some colder temperatures and some rain. So that's going to be something to look forward to. I'm excited. That's my favorite part. I mean, I love it when the weather's cold and rainy and damp, and the sky is gray. There's no sun. That's the best kind of weather. I love it, and I wish it was like this over here in Texas, in South Texas, all the time, but it's not, and it's shitty because, Mother Nature. So, again, like I said, there's plenty of things to talk about in the near future regarding things that are happening. Disney won't retcon the prequels for, The Last Jedi and for Star Wars, solely because, it's just not going to make any sense for Star Wars fans in the future. I don't know how that's going to be implemented, with Star Wars 9 and moving on in the franchise and the sequels? Is this gonna, somehow give us any answers within the Skywalker saga? When does it all end? Is it excuse me? Is it all gonna end? Excuse me. When Part 9 comes out, and if so, where do we start? Where does this end? Where do we expect from this in the end? So I don't know what this is this going to mean. It's not going to change anything for The Last Jedi. I don't think so. But yeah, I mean, you never know. You never know with these type of things, how these things are going to be implemented, how things are going to be approached with the Star Wars universe, because things, as far as production wise, are kept very secret. Things are kept very close to the chest. Not a lot of people are talking much about it. I think this one actually surprised a lot of people, that the Venom film is going to be rated PG-13, as though I think Sony was really pushing for an R rating on that film. It's really tough, because Sony was pushing for a darker twist on the Venom, franchise, or how that was going to kick off, the Spider-Verse for Sony without Tom Holland, if he's not involved in it as it is right now. It's yet to be known, but for the time being, for right now, all we know is that there's going to be some sort of Spider-Verse being built upon at Sony. And how that's going to be implemented with Marvel, if that's going to have some sort of, integration with that. I believe it has to, in some degree or form, but I don't think that's going to, play out to anything that we can expect in the very near future. I mean, would you guys like to see Tom Hardy's Venom in the MCU potentially down the line? I mean, this could probably be added to Spider-Man Far From Home coming out next year. This could actually play into it. He might, be a part of this. It was actually rumored that Tom Holland was shot a cameo or shot a spot or a scene in the Venom film as Peter Parker, but not as Spider-Man. So I don't know if that's yet to be named or yet to be confirmed, but it just doesn't make any sense to talk about it or speculate, because it's fun to speculate, but I guess it's too early to know or kind of realize when or if that's going to happen or anytime soon, or what we can expect in the near future, or what that means for future installments in the MCU and for Spider-Man, which, by the way, Spider-Man Far From Home is currently filming. They have a lot of details that are kept under wraps, but Tom Holland just keeps uttering secrets and uttering, secrecies out and about, talking about things here and there that some fans are speculating, catching up on. It's a big mess, but a lot of people are very excited for the film, as they should be, because it means that a lot of things are unfolding in the MCU as they should, and I think that it's going to be a wonderful thing to see how it all comes together post Avengers 4, and how people are going to deal with that loss, and how things are going to play out into how that's going to end in that realm or sense. So it's exciting. I'm excited. You guys should be excited. Thank you guys for listening to this episode. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate everyone's support and continued support on the show, the podcast. A new segment's going to drop pretty soon. Wait for the announcement. It's going to be great. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great week. I'll see you guys soon.